Kuzampo, this is Bhutan This Week and I'm Kezawangmo. Our top stories this week. Group of children recite Luly before His Majesty the King and the royal family on Nilo. ACC annual report finds that more than one-third of total complaints do not qualify for investigations. New student assessment criteria to continue despite disgruntlement. On Nilo, a group of Thimpu children recited Luly, the good wishes for the new year before His Majesty the King, Her Majesty the Gelson and their Royal Highnesses Gelse Jiminamgil and Gelse Uginwanchu at the Linkana Palace.
Nilo is commemorated as winter solstice, signifying the return of longer days, and is celebrated as New Year in parts of western Bhutan. As part of the celebration, children would traditionally visit homes across the valley on Nilo to sing Luly, offering wishes for a year filled with happiness. The verses of Luly describe a traditional farmhouse with wishes for each component of the house and all its inhabitants to flourish and prosper in the coming year. The children would then be presented with gifts with which to enjoy a picnic the next day. With the tradition being revived in Thimpu in the last decade, the children of Thimpu have celebrated Nilo each year by reciting the verses of Luly before their majesties at the Linkana Palace. Ishigelton, BBS News.
The government is working to import affordable fertilizers from India and Bangladesh. During a Meet the Press session recently, the Agriculture Minister said they are working to import 2,000 metric tons of fertilizers from India. Farmers in the country have been facing a shortage of chemical fertilizers for the past 2 years.
The shortage arose in 2019 after the digitization of the trading system in India.
Since 1973, India ki policy chidula ni neighboring countries lo.
Since 1973, there's a policy in India not to allow export of fertilizers in any of its neighboring countries. But considering the close relationship with our country, the companies gave us the fertilizers. The import of chemical fertilizers became difficult after the introduction of goods and services tax and the digitization of trading system in India.
Chemical fertilizers to said import
According to the Agriculture Minister, the government got a one-time approval from the Indian government on Thursday to import 2,000 metric tons of fertilizers. But there was an issue with the price.
The notification subsidy rate, the commercial rate.
It is fixed at commercial rate and not the subsidized rate. Going by the commercial rate, it is about 87,000 per metric ton. This is difficult for our farmers to pay. So the Foreign Ministry is in talks with the Indian Embassy to import it at the subsidized rate.
Meanwhile, people say farming has become more difficult due to the unavailability of fertilizers.
Earlier,
the harvest used to be good with the use of fertilizers. But after the shortage of fertilizers, the produce decreased drastically. The size of potatoes and chilies are also small if we do not use fertilizers.
Without fertilizers, we have to hire more laborers to do weeding. It requires double the number compared to when we used fertilizers.
We used to have a lot of fertilizers in the shop, but it has been over a year since we have run out. The importers themselves could not get fertilizers. Now with the season for potato plantation, many people are coming to buy fertilizers, but we do not have any.
The Agriculture Minister said the ministry also tried to talk directly with an Indian supplier, but they charged triple the price. The Economic Affairs Minister will be meeting officials in India in the coming week. Meanwhile, the ministry has also requested the government of Bangladesh for a one-time export of fertilizers to Bhutan. Gilitim for BBS News.
Automobile workshops in the country can now import 2 to 7 skilled workers depending on the size of the workshop. Before, a workshop can import only 1 or 2 skilled foreign workers. The Labour Minister at the recent Meet the Press said this was allowed from 6th December.
A cottage automobile workshop can import 2 foreign workers and a small automobile workshop can import 4. Similarly, a medium automobile workshop can import 5 and a large can import 7 foreign workers.
In the border area, they used to get 2, and then day workers ngema di COVID mini digi, they used to get lot, and then all ngachi gardi sukara masho chira the border area na or kachilo India le pha jobe zoni digi, the ngema bewajin it was very convenient, and issue sunam samchi mathenla. In interior areas, we used to give 1 foreign worker. So what we have done is from 6th December 2021, we have revised this law.
The minister also said that they are training local workers.
TTS Nalepa, we are giving a lot of more trainings into automobile gi, mechanic, the welder gi, because of the requirement, because of shortage, and then automobile gi numbers also increasing.
Since the closure of borders due to the pandemic last year, the workshops in the country ran out of skilled foreign workers. The workshops also witnessed an increasing number of customers. For Karmawangdi, Sunampem for BBS News.
More than 9,200 voters, constituting almost 78% of the total registered voters, turned up for the poll day on 6th January in 8 kiosks under 7 districts. The voters elected 8 Cups and a Tsokpa. 21 candidates contested for the post of Cup and Tsokpa. The elections in these kiosks were deferred after the audit clearances of 9 candidates were reinstated last month. In November last year, the Royal Audit Authority revoked the audit clearances of 12 candidates after the Anti-Corruption Commission found they had pending corruption cases with the Commission. Going by the Anti-Corruption Commission's annual report for 2020-2021, more than 1/3 of the total complaints lodged during the period did not qualify investigation. Of more than 450 complaints the Commission received, more than 160 were dropped. According to the Commission, the complaints dismissed were those that indicated the need to enhance quality. The report was launched today.
As per the report, the Commission qualified only 289 complaints. Of that, the highest complaints were received against the local government with nearly 130 cases. The complaints were mostly regarding abuse of function, embezzlement, bribery and resource management, among others.
Almost 75% of the complaints have been found baseless, and the others where action has been taken have been very mild. In many cases being just a reprimand, but we must also acknowledge that in a few cases strong action was taken, and for which we also acknowledge.
According to the ACC, filing a complaint against anyone entails following proper procedure and should have all the required components such as person's details, facts of the corruption, place of occurrence, evidence of complaints, as well as the details of witness, if any. Meanwhile, the report also states that ministries, private sector and corporations closely followed the local government in terms of allegations. Pema Sangtan, BBS News.
More than 93% of the Health Ministry's priority group have received their booster dose for COVID-19. The week-long booster dose campaign ended on 31st December. The ministry rolled out the booster dose campaign across the country amid concerns of the new Omicron variant taking global COVID infections to record high. And in Sarpong, a huge number of residents turned up for the booster dose.
More than 170,000 individuals across the country were given the booster dose in the past week. That is 7% short of the ministry's target. The ministry expected to vaccinate 185,000 individuals during the week-long campaign. In Sarpong, more than 33,000 individuals were vaccinated across 45 vaccination centers. It is an increase by over 2,000 compared to the second round of nationwide COVID vaccination campaign. Dr. Chedda, the medical superintendent of Galifu Central Regional Referral Hospital, said the increase in the number this time could be due to more people from other districts coming to Serpong for the winter. Bhutan became the first country in the South Asian region to administer booster dose. It was for the priority group, which includes residents above 18 years in the high-risk areas, elderly above the age of 65, health workers, people with medical conditions, and outbound travelers above 18 years.
Two different vaccine from two different company also, we feel that it's safe to our body, so it develop our the immunity system by that vaccine.
Opportunity to hemala todalo the phatsu now chuan chu kania ma vela benidila tele about difference the to karalu lejimbera I dile to sense lejimbera job odolo ta nigi namsem capacity mi ponse nomen.
With the booster dose complete, the residents are hoping the 7-day mandatory quarantine while travelling to low-risk areas will be reduced. However, according to a member of the technical advisory group, it would be a bad time to lift the quarantine when the Omicron variant is raging across the globe. He said reducing the 7-day quarantine period would be the same as not having it. He added 7 days is the minimum threshold to detect the infection. He also said the booster dose is to boost the antibody level and improve protection against the virus. The antibody level and effect of a vaccine wanes after about 6 months. People received the second dose in July. For Karmongdi in Serpong, Pubgame, PBS News.
To make Gilifu town look more beautiful, the Tromde office is instructing all business owners in the Tromde to display uniform signboards. This initiative has, however, not been well received by the business owners. Today, there are only a few shops with the Tromde specified signboards, although the office had notified for all business entities to have uniform standard signboards by the end of 2021.
Most of the businesses in the town still have the old signboards, varying in sizes and shapes. Only a few have replaced them as per the Tomde's notification. The Gilifu Tomde directed the business entities to install signboards with 3 standard sizes and a blue background. The notification also requires them to have uniform font sizes, bold in white color for both Songkha and English.
It is not convenient for us. The Tromde had a meeting in May and notified us to have uniform signboards. But everyone can see that all the businesses are going through a difficult situation due to the pandemic.
We spent a huge amount on the signboards we installed when we started our business. Now they are asking us to change it again within 2 years. It cost between 9 to 10,000 Newton for a signboard.
The Gilifu Tompe said the deadline has been extended till the end of this year. He said having uniform signboards will make Gilifu Tom distinct from other tombs in the country.
If businesses in Gilifu abide by the Tromde's plan, it will only add to the town's aesthetics. The town also has the potential to become a tourist destination in the future. So we felt the need to have uniform signboards.
Currently, there are more than 600 businesses in Gilifu town. For Karmongdi in Gilifu, Pubgame, PBS News.
The Thimphu District Court on Tuesday ordered 3 individuals to pay compensation ranging from 100,000 to about 400,000 Newton in a copyright infringement case. The Samu Media Tech filed the case after the 3 individuals shared and uploaded 2 movies belonging to Samu on different online platforms.
One of the defendants uploaded a movie, Pot of Gold, on YouTube last year, and the other 2 defendants shared and distributed another movie, My Root Teacher. Last week, the court ordered the company and the 3 defendants to negotiate and submit the compensation amount to the court. The total loss incurred to the company from uploading the movie Pot of Gold on YouTube was estimated at nearly 1.5 million Newton. However, the amount was negotiated at less than 400,000 Newton. The compensation amount from the other 2 defendants was estimated at more than 1.3 million Newton. However, they came to a consensus to pay 100,000 yutam each after negotiation. The initial compensation was calculated as per the Copyright Act of Bhutan 2001. The court has ordered the defendants to pay the compensation before 3rd April. They can pay it in 2 installments. Sharing of copyrighted content is illegal as per the Copyright Act of Bhutan 2001. Gilidim for BBS News.
The new assessment criteria in schools have been a subject of disgruntlement, especially among students. With a student required to score passing marks in both exams and continuous assessment to get through, many are claiming the new system, to be quite difficult. As per a recent report, around 15% of the total students, excluding those of class 10 and 12, failed last year. This is more than 21,000 students from nearly 140,000 students across the country. But the government says this new system will continue to improve the quality of education.
4 schools were excluded from the report compiled by the Department of School Education due to delay in the exams. Out of more than 21,000 students who failed their classes, nearly 11,500 were boys and over 9,500 girls. Percentage-wise, Sarpang district saw the highest failed percentage, followed by Mongar and Pema Sangtan. The new assessment structure mandates students from classes 4 to 12 to obtain a minimum of 40% in both continuous assessment and written examinations to pass the class. According to the report, many students failed mainly due to failing their written examination.
With one event or one activity, you cannot increase the quality of education. Quality of education bego bachin kar wholesome bego be. Continuous assessment nala alusugi chage bagdirata chugobe. Then exit exam nale chage dangda badirata chugobe. So that they are on their toes 12 months a year. Ani zoni gitolo sheril hanga gi ani be zodo se boda ngachedi til regime me se shuila. Zani bini tuchi changha masu thinu kimila. 다 록디 추신디나 리피트 베니 코카퓨 다니 같이 repeat 베니기 digidi ben legime tagobe.
Meanwhile, most schools across the country, although worried, also shared their appreciation for the new assessment system.
당아라기 삼철 슈와친 디치레베 와친 레줌 임베에서 노멜라 가지선 해망 아치기 때 알루디수 때 춘주날에 잠돈도베 타큐숲 텔레 자처숨 주송아 토브레 타큐숲 디난드니레 나처라 난큐기 일집날에 꾸디수 춘주기 꾸디다 치가 돔달루 타큐베 조이갈레 때 잠돈도베 로브림디 아야 직주메바 때 피셀루 니데발라 다 두치레 아니즈둠디 미투베 피세 아치 리주메 조베세 테베 카담 찹돌루 테 네탕 아치지 테베 주미디 텔레텐디 임베 날레파 윤림베 조이갈레디 테 레줌 셰리기 lamlunalu lejumra on se nomela.
Usually in the past days, the learners, they generally portray a complacent, believing if they maintain or secure high C, it would sublime or take care of the written exam and the upliftment of their progress report. But now it demands in a different way, which I think is a better move.
The department also conducted an overall performance study of private schools across the country. Of more than 6,000 students from classes PP till 11, only around 200 students failed. Samtan Dolkar, BBS News.
There is a shortage of eggs in markets across the country. Poultry farmers say egg production has gone down like never before, and the cause, according to the farmers, is due to the suspected contaminated bird feeds that were in the markets a few months ago. Thousands of birds started dying in November, and thousands more fell sick after they were fed suspected contaminated feeds.
Poultry farmers in Serong, one of the country's highest egg-producing districts, say it has been more than a month that egg production has declined to almost zero. They say there has been almost no egg production since the recent feed incident, which left most of their birds either dead or seriously ill.
Problem mathemaki madi maji gondo cartoon 6 theunla datu bevda trainee sum dichitam chamch themela Mumela koloma gondo iga seme devita mapalera binira mindu kadibini mi selab gobela.
In Dumper Town, almost all shops do not have eggs to sell. The story is no different in other districts as well. In the capital city, the disrupted egg supply chain has also escalated egg prices in the market.
Ngajina sesitom kalo gondo mataba hafta linde chiyasila. Thobrura katong chilura 3,500 labela.
Goneti lo ataben shibja. Sumchu shibju me tarete ngabja golfai me seshunela.
With bleak signs of birds regaining their health, it is likely that the problem may remain for some time. According to the Department of Livestock, over 54,000 birds died due to the suspected contaminated feeds. The feeds were produced by the Kurma Feeds Company. Feed samples have been sent outside the country for lab testing and the results are being weighted. Meanwhile, the company started giving out monetary compensation to the affected farmers. For Pema Sangtan, Kilitim, BBS News.
Koma in Lindsay is known for producing the intricately patterned silk textile Kushitara. But without a proper showroom in the village, the weavers have to take their prized product to the prospective buyers. For such a culturally rich and expensive product, it was not befitting to not have a showroom. It gets even worse when visitors in the village find themselves surrounded by women forcing them to buy, just like at a roadside market. To address this, the Lindsay Zongkak is planning to build a showroom in the village.
Back in 2017, the Bumdiling Wildlife Sanctuary built a two-storied structure in Koma to be used as a showroom. However, since the structure is more than half a kilometer from the village, residents did not make use of it. As a result, it was converted into a station office for the wildlife sanctuary. Today, the district administration plans to build a showroom here, accessible to all the residents. It will be on a 10-decimal land. According to the Lindsay Zonda, a 3-storied structure will be constructed. It will not only serve as a showroom for Kushitara and other woven items, but also as a weaving center. However, starting from the design approval to funding, the district administration is yet to get approvals. The development plan is not included even in the 12th five-year plan.
We are seeking support from Queen's Project, and we have also had some discussion with the staff, Queen's Project staff, when they came for some other work like OGOP project, and we have initial discussion we have already done with them.
Whatever the administrative progress, the residents are looking forward to having a showroom. The good news came at a time when marketing was made impossible amid the pandemic. As a result, most people were unable to sell their Kushitara products, resulting in losses.
I have a total of 800,000 Newton worth of Kushitara, of which I have 3 here and have sent 5 to Thimphu. I have 300,000 to 400,000 worth of tablecloths that I have been unable to sell.
We used to earn by selling shawls to tourists, but owing to the global pandemic, we now weave Kushitara and go whenever there's a demand.
The wonder from the loom doesn't stop with Kushitara. They also weave silko, far more expensive than Kushitara. This is Seshoko Domchuchem, valued at 160,000 ngitam. But without a market, they can only wait and hope for the showroom plan to materialize. For Doji Galton in Lindsay, PBS News.
This is all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us.